Hi guys, it's me again. All right, your teacher, Miss Bruce, with another fun day of learning. All right, so we're going over theme again with Charlotte's Web. And in this chapter 19, it is called The Egg Sac. And look what I have. I have the big egg to go along with this chapter. So inside this big egg, you are going to find out our third clue of what Miss Bruce is going to do on Thursday. That's so crazy. So to go along with our chapter with Charlotte's Web, Egg Sac, about Charlotte laying her eggs, we have the surprise egg. All right, I'm going to put this down here and we're going to get started. Now you remember, theme is about a lesson you can take back to your life. So when you were doing this chapter, you should have started with the plot. You read the chapter and do the beginning, middle, and end of the chapter. And you should have realized, okay, at the beginning, they came to the fair. The kids are really wanting to go to the midday. They want the fair. They want money. And they're like pestering their mom. And then they realize that Uncle got the blue ribbon, the first prize ribbon, and they're like, oh, because they've been waiting all night for to know who won. They got there. And anyways, they still say it's okay, and they wash the pig with the buttermilk. And so I wrote all that stuff down in my graphic organizer. And when I wrote all that stuff down in my graphic organizer, I was thinking about it. Okay, they're waiting, and then at the very end, they announce that there's a special prize. They had to take the pig to the judge's table because there's a special prize. So as you can see, they pushed through. So this chapter was about them arriving and waiting to know if they won. And as you can see, they did not give up. Even when they saw the blue ribbon on Uncle's pin and they said, oh, he got first place, they still didn't give up because they didn't hear any announcements. And then they got a special prize. So I definitely think the theme of this one is patience. Patience, if you have patience and you push through, you will reach your goals. Yes. So I definitely think that is the theme of this chapter. The other chapter we read was about being humble and giving to others, just like Prometheus. So giving to others in a time of need, which is something, so both of these lessons, the giving to others in a time of need and also being patient. And when you're patient, good things will happen and good things will come and you will reach your goals even if it takes a while. Both of these you can take back to your life, especially right now, you guys, because there's a lot of people out there that you can just do a little thing for to help them right now in this time. Even giving them a phone call and letting them know you're there for them. Or the being patient, because I know we're at home, we're stuck, we want to get out, but being patient and keeping everyone healthy, because in the long end, we will have people being healthy instead of getting sick. So being patient at your house and getting through it and just getting through this time, I know it will help you. So both of these you can take back to your life and help others. All right, so let's get started though, since I told you all about the chapter, and you should have wrote down your graphic organizer, thought about the main idea, and then now you have the theme. Let's go over our text for the day. So our lovely assignment, I'm gonna go all the way to the top. Here we go, you guys, with number 1. So you should have went back into the story and found these answers. So number 1 was, what color was Charlotte's egg sac? Well, Charlotte's egg sac, my friends, hold on, let me get my pin on. Charlotte's egg sac, if you were on page 144, it said it is a peach color. Page 144. How many eggs were in the egg sac? Well, on page 145 at the very top, remember, Charlotte counted them all through the night, and Wilbur couldn't believe there was 514 eggs on or in the sack. So 145, you guys. All right, what is Charlotte's magnum opus? So if you know this about Charlotte, throughout our whole entire book, Charlotte says big vocabulary words. And then she talks about them with Wilbur so you can understand what they're meaning. So you have to use those context clues and read the whole entire your paragraph to understand what she's talking about. What is she saying? Because she does give you the definition in most cases for these words. And in this case, on page 145, she actually says, let me read it to you. It's Latin, explained Charlotte. It means great work. This egg sac is my great work, the finest thing I have ever made. So there you go. It means great work, but what exactly is it? It means that is her egg sac. Egg sac. And that's on page 145 at the top. All right, so again, it means it's her egg sac, but it does mean great work in Latin. Why is Charlotte's egg sac special? Well, this is an inferencing skill. At the end of our chapter, or we just read at the beginning of the chapter, sorry, at the beginning of page 145, that it was her great work. But also at the end of that page 145, she says, anyway, I can guarantee that it is strong. It's made out of the toughest material I have. It is also waterproof. The eggs are inside and will be warm and dry. So using my inferencing skills from what Charlotte says, the reason why I think this egg sac is so special is because it has eggs in it. First of all, it has her babies in it. But second of all, it is the greatest work she's ever done, and it is very strong. So I'm going to put down, it is strong and her greatest work on page 145. So you have to use your inferencing skills. And if you notice when I'm answering these questions, I am not using complete sentences. That's because they only give you a little line, and so they don't want a complete sentence here. They just want you to answer the question, so you don't have to do a complete sentence. All right, you guys. So next, what shape was Templeton's stomach when he returned that night? Well, he returned and he ate everything because, like the sheep said, it was a feast. It was a good place for the rat to go. So his stomach was big around, big around as a jelly jar. That is a pretty big rat stomach. And that was directly in the text on page 147. So if you didn't find that, you go back to 147 and you will find that answer. All right, what color was the first prize ribbon? Well, I already said it in my plot when I did my graphic organizer when I was telling you about. So yeah, it's blue. So that should have been something maybe you put down in your graphic organizer, or maybe you just remember that it was blue. And if you don't remember and you couldn't find it, it was on page 148. What did Mrs. Zuckerman use to bathe Wilbur? Well, we already know from the previous chapter that she loved to bathe Wilbur in buttermilk because that's what her grandmother did to their pigs. But also in this chapter, it said it again. So let's put down buttermilk. And in this chapter, it was on page 150. All right. How did Wilbur look after his bath? Well, Mrs. Zuckerman, even though she didn't give up because they thought that Uncle won because he had a blue ribbon on him because he was the biggest pig. She still bathed him, wanted him to look good, and she said after she gave him a bath, he looked white and smooth. Those were her exact words. So you had to go back and look at her bathing him and what she said. And so she said he looked white and smooth. That's on page 151. All right. And the last thing is, what was Wilbur going to receive from the judges? Well, that was at the very end of the chapter, and we actually really don't know because they didn't give up. They, were bathing him, and, they saw that it said humble. Charlotte wrote humble on her web, and they were hoping that he still won something because there was no announcement yet. And an announcement came, and it said that they had to report to the judges table for a special award. What exactly is a special award? We don't know, but he got a special award. Hopefully in the next chapter we'll find out. Special award. Page 151. And that was at the end of that chapter. All right. So now that we're done with our comprehension questions, we went back and we looked in the text. Now we're going to clear this out. And we're going to go to the next section. Now, the next section was just as difficult as the comprehension questions. And as you know, that Charlotte loves to do big vocabulary words. So you had to go back and look in the text and use those context clues, reading the text, reading the words, the sentences, and trying to think of what's going on to be able to figure out what word this was. So they gave you the definition and they gave you the page number, and you had to figure out what word they're talking about. So on page 144, a word that means to get smaller was the word shrunk. That was the only word that was on there that meant to get smaller. So it was the word shrunk. That one was the easier one. Now number 2 wasn't as easy. But number 2, again, Charlotte was giving this word directly to Wilbur because Wilbur didn't know what it means. So I went back to page 147, and I'm going to read it to you on page 147. There's a whole 2 paragraphs about this word. So you should have been able to go back and look and think about what this word meant. And even if you didn't know how to pronounce it, you could at least know that it was that word because they talked about it. Let's listen. Wilbur didn't understand the word languish, and he hated to bother Charlotte by asking her to explain. But he was so worried, he felt he had to ask. What does languish mean? It means I'm slowing up. I'm slowing up, feeling my age. I'm not young anymore, Wilbur. There you go. So the word that means to grow old and feeble is languish. She was slowing up. She wasn't feeling her age. That means to grow old and get feeble, to get weak and tired. So, languish. All right, languishing is what she was doing. All right, number 3, keeps water out. Well, we already went over this with her sac, why it was so strong. And one of the things was it was waterproof. So on page 145, the only word that means to keep water out is waterproof. All right. Increased in size. To increase in size on page 147 was swollen. Here's another hard one that I want to go over with you guys. To eat excessively on page 148. Let me read to you. This was about Templeton because he was eating everything. So what word does it mean to eat excessively? Listen. What feasting and carousing at a real gorge, I must have eaten the remains of 30 lunches. A real gorge, I must have eaten the remains of 30 lunches. That word gorge means to eat excessively. And he ate the remains of like 30 lunches. That's a lot for a rat. All right, that's a lot for a human. So gorge was that word gorge. There you go. All right, and on page 149, a questioning feeling. A questioning feeling. So when you're like, I don't know about that, you have a feeling, you're questioning it, you're suspicious. It means suspiciously was that word on page 149. Suspiciously, you're like, I don't know. You really question it. Yes, so that means suspiciously. Questioning feeling. Suspiciously. All right. So that looks a little blurry. There we go. All right. So there you go. Those are those words that you did have to use your thinking skills and really think about the words and what is going on in that text to be able to figure out that word, what word means that definition, okay? So that's called using your context clues, using the clues around the sentences and using the sentence to think about what's going on to be able to figure out that word. All right, so hopefully you use your context clues. We have a big poster on the wall for that one too. All right, and now I'm going to the last section, you guys. This last section was syllabication, not syllabification, which was like the other week. This is just simply how many syllables do you hear in each word? It's the sounds. This was something simple that we've learned a long time ago that you've probably learned since first grade. So this was a lot easier than the last 2 weeks that we did syllabification. Syllabification is when you actually break up the word into sounds, but you have to write it, and you have to show that you're breaking it up when you're writing with those dashes. This one's just tell me how many sounds there are. So, you know what I have, you guys? My bell. Yeah, I got my bell from my classroom. So let's use this to do our sounds. All right, here we go. Guaranteed. Guarantee. That was 3 bells. Guarantee. Waterproof. Waterproof. Again, 3 bells. Now, if you don't have a bell at home, you can always use your hands to clap it out. So let's clap out the next one. Swollen. Swollen. That is 2. Let's do indigestion. Indigestion. That is 4 bells. Indigestion. Next one. Hankering. Hankering. 3. Ooh, this one's a big word. Let's clap this one out instead of doing the bell. Congratulations. 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 5 syllables. All right, suspiciously. Suspiciously. 4. Announcement. Announcement. 3. All right. Next one. Trickled. Trickled. That's 2. And last one. Nifty. Again, it is 2. All right, so that was a little bit easier skill to do this week on our reading. So that should have been really quick just to clap it out. All right, you guys. Well, that was our lesson for today. If you have any questions, let me know on Edmodo, and I'll be happy to answer. But because today was about the egg sac and how Charlotte's slowly dying because she did make that egg sac with 514 eggs in it, I have the surprise egg. Now in this surprise egg will be another clue to what Miss Bruce is going to do on Thursday. All right, here we go. What's in here? What is this? What could this possibly be? Circle, little holes in it, and then it has this big hole right here. What could this possibly be? If you know, maybe you can comment at Edmodo. What is this? It has to do with something what I'm going to do on Thursday. Man, our clues have been so weird lately. They don't match up at all. What could it possibly be? You'll have to watch the next video on tomorrow to get your last clue. And then on Thursday, which is tomorrow, at 1 o'clock, you will see what I'm going to do. All right, bye, you guys. I'll see you later.